Yesterday, Mitt Romney held 3 fundraisers in the most affluent section of Long Island, where billionaires go to the beach. The first event took place at the estate of Revlon chairman and billionaire Ronald Perlman. Tickets ranged from $5,000 for lunch to $25,000 for a VIP photo reception. The next fundraiser was at the home of Clifford Sobel, an ambassador to Brazil under President George W. Bush, and the big event was a dinner at the Southampton home of billionaire industrialist David Koch. The cost to get in, $75,000 a couple. The New York Times quotes one woman who was waiting in line in her black Range Rover. "Is there a VIP entrance? We are VIP." Then there's the New York City donor the LA Times caught up with. She was also driving a Range Rover and did not want to give her name, but she did say that Mitt Romney needed to do a better job connecting. I don't think the common person is getting it. Nobody understands why Obama is hurting them. We've got the message, but my college kid, the babysitters, the nails ladies, everybody who's got the right to vote, they don't understand what's going on. I just think if you're lower income, 1, you're not as educated, 2, they don't understand how it works. They don't understand how the system works. They don't understand the impact. Joining me now, someone who does understand the impact, Florida Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, chairwoman of the Democratic National Committee. What I love about what she said, great to have you here tonight. What I love about what she said is she included, among the people who just don't get it, her own college kid, who apparently is affluent enough that the mother can go to a $75,000 a couple event.
Well, I think actually what the reality is that working folks, working families like the nail ladies and the cleaning ladies and even college kids of wealthy people understand that President Obama has been fighting hard to make sure that we can create jobs and opportunity for them, invest in education and innovation, make sure that we can outcompete and out-innovate and out-educate the rest of the world so that when we are competing on a global stage, that America can be on top consistently in industry and in education and in innovation. And Mitt Romney and the Republicans have been focused so much on those folks who were guests at those events, and making sure that they can do even better than they already are, that they've sort of left the nail ladies and the college kids out in the cold. And I think that's what they understand.
Congressman Wasserman Schultz, I couldn't help but wonder if maybe that woman's college kid, as she referred, we don't even know if it's a male or female college kid, so I'm just going to pick daughter, okay? We'll just decide it's a daughter. Maybe her daughter actually has a roommate at college or someone at college who's dear to her and she knows well, who is struggling with student loan debt. Maybe that might be something that her college kid knows about that mom doesn't know about.
Or maybe she has a friend who doesn't have health insurance coverage without being able to stay on her parents' insurance, which she can now do until she's 26 years old. Exactly. Right. Exactly. So there's been so much progress made for working families. Finally, they have a champion in the White House that I think that's why folks like those people that the donor named so-called don't get it in that woman's eyes.
There was an odd moment. You were on Fox News yesterday. It was an odd moment where they ran out of time, apparently, on a question for you. And they were talking about Mitt Romney's offshore accounts, and the host of the show, a substitute host, was reading a statement from the campaign about the offshore accounts. Let's watch that.
Sure.
This comes from Romney spokesman Kevin Madden, who says, quote, he hasn't paid a penny less in taxes by virtue of where these funds are domiciled, talking about his Bermuda and Cayman Islands accounts. His liability is exactly the same as if he held the fund investments directly in the U.S. As a U.S. citizen, he is accountable for U.S. taxes. Some investments in foreign countries can be tax havens, but Mitt Romney does not hold any such investments.
And then at the end of that read, they kind of ran out of time for you before you could make a comment. So let's hear, what were you going to say if Fox didn't have to go to a commercial?
Well, what I was going to say is, how would we know?
Exactly.
I mean, the bottom line is that because Mitt Romney has only released 1 year of his tax returns, even though he gave 23 years of tax returns to John McCain, we have no idea. I mean, we have only the word of a spokesperson who works for Mitt Romney, and that's why George Romney, Mr. Romney's own father, when he ran for president, said that releasing 1 year of tax returns may be an anomaly and it's not enough. And he set a precedent of multiple years of tax returns so that you could have transparency, so that you could examine the finances of a candidate offering themselves for president. And so Mitt Romney isn't even willing to live up to his own father's standard or the standards of every major recent presidential candidate going back to, several decades. So we could actually see whether or not Mitt Romney's spokesman is accurate if we could actually see what his finances are hiding. A Bermuda corporation, Swiss investments, Cayman Island investments. Why does an American businessman, Lawrence, need to have a Swiss bank account or a Bermuda corporation? And why did Mitt Romney transfer that Bermuda corporation to a blind trust in his wife's name the day before he became governor? Those are unanswered questions that Mitt Romney needs to answer.
Well, if you're asking me, it's to hide the money from taxation and from American taxation rates. Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, thanks for joining us tonight. And whenever they run out of time on you on Fox News, you get to come here to complete the thought.
This was so delicious. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Coming up, why having two people with diametrically opposing views fight it out on TV can turn out to be a very bad and dangerous idea and maybe lead to a case of attempted murder. That's in tonight's Rewrite. And the number one reason why you should vote for president, why you should always vote for president, is, of course, the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is not what it once was. There is the bromance, the Scalia-Roberts bromance. That's over. We're going to talk about it coming up later.